can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Davis says, I like Canelo as a fighter. Pound for pound, he needs to be number one. Wow. Count Gervonta Tank Davis amongst a large list of supporters standing to the side of Canelo Alvarez. Throughout the years, the Mexican native has been and become one of the most well-known and well-respected fighters in all of boxing. His rise to the top of the pugilistic sport, however, coincides with his fairly lopsided majority decision loss at the hands of Floyd Money Mayweather in 2013. Since then, Alvarez has gone undefeated in his next 16 consecutive fights. Along the way, he snagged world titles in various weight classes while making vast improvements. David, admittedly, has become a huge fan of Alvarez, although Davis has done his best to protect his glistening 26-0 record. The heavy-hitting multiple division titleist believes that Alvarez has become an entirely different animal following his decisive loss at the hands of Floyd Money Mayweather a decade ago. He said, I like Canelo Alvarez as a fighter, Davis said during an interview. He said he's tough. He's learned a lot from his loss from Floyd. It made him a better fighter. Pound for pound, he needs to be number one. Let me counterpunch. I agree with Gervonta Tank Davis, but here's the deal. The counter is he's already pound for pound one of the best. Should he be the number one? You can argue that, but then there's other guys that haven't been defeated, like Canelo Alvarez has been defeated, that has done more, or not even really more, has shown more superiority. Okay, guys like Terrence Crawford. Lomachenko was up there for a while, but I think Canelo bumped him off. Alexander Usyk's in there. God bless him and his country. But he's another guy that has that extreme skill. Canelo has been consistently doing it longer, though. However, Canelo Alvarez, the 16 consecutive wins, they've had some question marks. The Triple G fight, the Erislandy Lara fight. A lot of people would talk about the Austin Trout fight as well. I wouldn't argue with the Austin Trout. I think he beat Austin Trout. And I like, no doubt, Trout. Okay, but I don't think he lost to Austin Trout because he was able, I think in the 7th round of that bout, to score a knockdown over Austin Trout to really define who won that fight. Okay, that was a pivotal moment in that fight. All right. Lara, I think he lost. Mayweather, he lost. But then that was a funny decision. So the question is, you got to ask yourself, is this guy, being one of the best fighters on the planet right now, which I agree with, was he protected all those years? Okay. And coming from Gervonta Tank Davis, though, it's impressive and it's surprising to hear Gervonta Tank Davis talk about Canelo Alvarez only due to a sense on what side of the street he's on. We know Canelo Alvarez's last fight was with Showtime, okay? When he took out Caleb Plant in the 11th round, he got $50 million from King Heyman, right? And Floyd Money Mayweather, right? So he had a hand in that. But at the end of the day, it's like Gervonta Tank Davis admiring Canelo Alvarez. I think if he admires him like that, I think he needs to emulate what Canelo has done. Even if it cost him a loss to one of the best, I think Gervonta Tank Davis has an exciting style. He's short, he's stocky, he's powerful. I think he has more agility than someone like Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has great upper body movement, but the foot speed and the footwork are, I think, his kryptonite or his challenging movements. Okay, But yes, he is very talented. But someone like Gervonta Tank Davis is very versatile, and I don't see why he can't get fights with Ryan Garcia and others. Okay, Teofimo Lopez is there because Teo's supposed to move up to 140. That could be a super fight at 140. Bring life back into this division. So if he thinks that, I think he needs to, and it may happen. It may happen that Gervonta Tank Davis, admires Canelo. Before long, he may be in a situation where he wants to do what Canelo is doing. Okay? Canelo left his long-lasting promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, right? He might want to do the same thing, and I think it's best for him. Why? Because he's not doing anything over there. And as long as he's with Floyd, Money Mayweather, he won't. Because Floyd will not get him or take him out of his comfort zone to put him in any risk to become beat or become famous. See, with Floyd, he's looking at Gervonta Tank Davis, hey, protect your O, nothing else matters. But it does matter. You have guys like Canelo Alvarez with a loss and with a draw, with 2 draws. And he's still one of the best pound for pound, and he's still the cash cow, and it still does not matter. Okay, so the doctrine that Floyd is preaching over there needs to stop. And he needs to stop hiding his fighters. Gervonta Tank Davis, honestly, he should have took that first ass whooping from Vasyl Lomachenko. But I think from that beating he took from that guy that was great at that time and probably still, as like legendary, right? Vasyl is. He would have learned a lot from him. Okay, he would have learned a lot from him and a lot from that loss. But Floyd didn't want to put him in that seat. He didn't want to give him that opportunity. For all we knew, Gervonta Tank Davis would have knocked out Vasyl Lomachenko. But who knew? Because Floyd didn't want to take the risk. And Floyd ain't going to like this. Bars. He's not going to like the idea of Gervonta Tank Davis saying that I admire Canelo Alvarez. I like what he's doing. I think he's the best pound for pound and this, that, and the other. Floyd ain't gonna like that. Imagine Floyd. Gervonta, I don't like how you be praising Canelo. If you're gonna praise somebody, you need to praise a man that put food in your mouth. You're gonna praise a man that gave you them gold chains, put you in a Bugatti, did all this for you, took you out of your mom's apartment. And that's me, Floyd Money. Right? It'll be a conversation like that. And then Floyd, he don't have to say it behind closed doors. He'll say it right there in public. So I'm just waiting for that to happen because, Gervonta, he made Gervonta Tank Davis take the gloves off, the no boxing, no life gloves, the Canelo brand from Gervonta Tank Davis when Gervonta Tank Davis wanted to wear those gloves in the fight when he fought Pitbull Cruz. And what happened? He was wearing them regularly ass Joe Mack gloves from Mike Tyson's Punch Out and got his damn hand broke. Why? Because they were a piece of shit and they were cheap. That's why. Because Floyd didn't want that man to wear that other guy's gloves. Like he was like, why are you worried about Canelo? You beat Canelo. You made more money than Canelo. What's the deal? Canelo is not retired and Canelo can still catapult his career. Unlike Floyd. Floyd's done. He's been doing exhibitions since 2017, 18. Right? So that's that for Floyd. And Floyd, I think, knows that and he may fear that. And the last thing that Floyd, Money Mayweather wants to hear is one of his elite fighters praising the guy that could break his money record one day. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Gervonta Tank Davis saying that he admires Canelo Alvarez and he should be pound for pound #1. Tell me what you think. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.